Come, gather round, everyone. They're about to talk Disney. I am still so confused as to whether I'm going to eat at Connections or Creations. So the only way I can keep them straight is I have to think, okay, well, my mouth connects to my stomach, so I guess that's Connections.
So I call Catherine to see how dinner at the restaurant is going, and she says, I can't talk to you right now. I'm talking to Mickey. So I'm like, okay, here's the big cheese. I get it. And then she says, hold on, he wants to talk to you. So she FaceTimes me, and I'm FaceTiming with Mickey as I'm getting ready for the podcast.
I don't understand why people spend hard-earned money on a Mickey ice cream sandwich in the parks. I mean, we literally all have ice cream sandwiches in our freezers at home. We don't have Mickey bars. From the mind and creator of the Disney YouTube channel Living in Diz comes a whole new Disney podcast. Okay, can we talk some serious Disney here now? Nope. Get ready for all the Disney knowledge that you can handle. It's Corey. It's Lawrence. It's the Diz Pod.
You are now listening to a member of the Disney Podcast family. Head over to Disney Podcast Family on Instagram to see all the latest posts for this show and links to other great Disney podcasts.
Yes, here we are. Are we back, Lawrence? We're here.
Oh.
We are here. Can you believe it? It feels like it's been forever. Although, you know, we did a lot last week, and that's what we're going to talk about is the July 4th trip recap. And I felt like I went on this trip with you. Oh, no, wait a minute. I was there. But I felt like I was, like, on a Disney resort trip. Like, we went home to sleep, but, you know, I don't know. It felt different. We were very excited about this. We held on to this news a long time, didn't we, before we announced these special plans.
Yep.
Because we wanted to be the only ones to do it, because no one ever does some of the stuff we've done, and some things have been done. So we really want to keep that under tight wraps, and we'll continue to do that as we come up with some good things. I've got something I haven't told you about that we'll be announcing pretty soon that we're going to do. That I say this sometimes, and I don't always have concrete facts, but I'm going to venture out there and say no one's done this live.
Okay. All right.
It's been talked about. It's been talked about, though. So
Corey's going to live stream mowing his yard. That's cool.
Well, you know, they would watch. Theo would watch.
Theo would watch, yes.
Welcome, everyone, in the live. We do this live because we do it for you and you only. And we also love our re-listeners, re-watchers as well. Welcome, everyone. I have lots of energy here. Just a boost. As soon as I got on with you and I saw you, boom, I was energized. So everyone's coming in slowly. Welcome. Hit the like button. Comment at the end. Comment throughout the podcast, but also comment when it's over. It really helps the channel, and we will love you just that much more. And we do try to answer all the comments. We do. And got some great comments throughout the July 4th responses, videos and everything, and saw some old friends from Germany, chime in and said she doesn't miss a thing. And I'll say a shout out to Julia and Soren in Germany. It was great to hear from them. And they're doing well out there too. They used to be on the lives all the time, but they're ninja watching, I guess, and all that. We appreciate everyone. James from Ohio, OHIO. Welcome. He's another. James is a big super fan. He really is. He reaches out on special occasions and things like that. So we appreciate you, James, for being such a great viewer for all this time. Leading from the front, that's my bro right there. He says, "What is it? Please tell me. Stop teasing me." Oh, you don't care, and you won't even watch that one. He might if I tell him. He might. I'll tell Lawrence later. I will figure out a date when to tell you all. I'll tell you what. Top of my head, I think we're doing. I don't even know. I think at the end of the month. End of the month. So in a couple of weeks, we'll give you a special announcement. Krubaka is in the chat. I love my furry guy. We just have not seen him in a while. He's been busy.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I would not watch Corey mowing the lawn. He
He'd
might
probably
FaceTime me.
sleep.
He'll probably fall asleep.
Yeah.
The mowing of the lawn, the sound of the mower. Lawrence, there's been a lot of news recently coming out of Disney, right?
A lot of news. And we could have done an entire episode of just all the news lately, but we knew that the July 4th recap is what we had on deck for tonight.
We can tickle it.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit. I mean, when I say a little bit, probably 4 seconds worth of the new Country Bear Jamboree show. I have to. I guess I'll have to talk to Catherine to decide whether we're going to watch that before we go to see it live. You know, the only thing we've done that with was the drone show. The drone show we watched when you streamed it the second day of the show.
And why did you decide that?
I don't know.
Why did you break the rule?
I don't know. Because I knew we were going for the July 4th trip, so I knew I would see it live. I'm not sure why I decided that one. Maybe because it was a smaller show. I don't know. But normally the rule is don't go or don't watch it until we see it. I guess, with Luminous, I didn't have to worry about that because we went to see it the first night. But Luminous would have been that way. Fantasmic was that way. I skipped that show until I went to see it live. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Shout out to Alex and Morgan watching just down the road, and their first time watchers. So glad that they're here. Welcome. At least for a little bit. And they're going to have some street tacos tonight. I got to get into that. I got to get into some street tacos, maybe for NFL Sundays. That sounds really good. Costco. It's a Costco visit.
Yep.
So any reason to go to Costco is good for me. Jollywood was announced. And it looks like nothing's changed. Everything that it offered last year is coming back. So I'm good with that. But the thing is, it's expensive. The cheapest ticket is $156 a person.
It is expensive, but it was a good night. I really enjoyed it. I would also say that maybe there will be some extras. I mean, look at what the first night last year was compared to nights after that, where they started to add more stuff. So maybe what we see now that's been released is what it's going to be, or maybe there'll be some more.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, it's always ×4. A lot of other channels out there is one person, so they can do everything. For me, it's 4. It's ×4. That's about $675, I think, is what it came out to when I priced it out online today. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, that's probably not going to happen. So, but I have vowed to do everything. We're doing everything this year. Like I always tell our wonderful audience, I don't know, we'll see what we do. Nope, we're doing Halloween, maybe 2 of them. We're doing Christmas, maybe 2 of them. We're doing Jollywood, probably 1. And we're doing Halloween Horror Nights. So,
wow.
I don't know what's going to happen with that, though. We probably will just vlog it and not live stream it because we want Tammy to go in the houses. We're trying to talk her into going in the houses. I'm like, if you're buying that ticket, you better go in the houses.
You can't buy that just to walk around them. You've got to go in.
You got to go in, especially and she doesn't even have to go into all of them. I say that, right? But when we're there, we'll be like, come on. But she's got to do Ghostbusters, and I forgot, there was another one that was really cool that we were like, ooh. But, yeah, we've never been to Halloween Horror Nights, but we're gonna try it this year. And that's going to be expensive, too.
Yeah. How
You
much
know
is that?
what though? It's less than Jollywood. I priced it out on a certain day because different days are different costs. This was like not the cheapest, not the most expensive. It was a little below medium price. I think I got us at about 372 for four
Hmm,
of us.
got it.
So we've got all that going on and a special announcement in a couple of weeks of something that we'll be doing live. And it'll be cool. It'll be interesting. Hopefully we'll get a large audience for that. And it'll be great. Theo is just chomping at the bit to come down and hang out with LID. We can't wait to hang out with Theo. I always say this: Theo talks way more in chat than he does in person, but we love Theo. We just love having his presence and his aura and him hanging with us. We won't get fish and chips this time though, Theo, because he'll be at Magic Kingdom. So
Ah, okay.
we'll see where that all ends up. So, any other news I'm leaving out? I saw a blip quick. I think Mickey's Not So Scary. I'm sorry, not that. Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Was that also announced as well?
Yes. I was gonna say no, that was before, but I forgot we've been gone for 2 weeks. So,
Yeah.
yes, that was announced. The dates are all out for that. I'm trying to think if there's anything new on that. Somebody can help me out.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's something I haven't even had a chance to look at yet. Uh, but love the Christmas party. I mean, here's the thing. Tammy has separation anxiety, and I kind of do too, but I got to make myself go out in the wild. She doesn't feel like she never wants to go to a party if the kids are willing to stay home. So
mm,
I'd love to get her out to the Christmas party. She'd like to do that. So, and
uh,
I don't mean to take everything, but she's just never live streamed on her own.
yeah.
So it's not like I'm trying to dominate it all. Any literally, if she had the experience of handling a live stream on her own, then I would be like, you pick what you wanted, you pick two, and I'll pick two.
Mm-hmm.
And take a kid or something like that. Who knows? Maybe I should give her the stream for like. I should just start training her a little bit more on the fly. Because there's
Yeah.
times where she needs to make an adjustment, and she's like, "What do I do?" And I'm like, "Come on, you should know this by now." I gave her a
Yeah.
hard time the other day. Come on, you should know this. You should know this.
There was also news out of Japan that Disney and Oriental Land Company are going to expand their relationship to launch Disney Cruise Vacations in Japan. I forget what year they said that was going to launch. 2028, I feel like was the right year.
Oh, that long, huh? And
Yeah,
they're building a new ship for that.
building a new ship for that.
A
Yep.
new vessel.
Yep.
So this is just going along with. I have an inside source, that this just goes along with that news that Disney is really trying to make a push to be the biggest and the bestest
Mm-hmm.
cruise line in the world. Top of the line, everything. So this just goes along with it. So I would say definitely expect more announcements coming from
Yeah.
more locations for sure.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that for D23, but I think that's going to be a big part of D23. As I'm reading the news about that was released last week about Disney Dream getting updates. So that cruise ship will be getting updates with new revamped youth spaces. There's a fantastical funnel suite. My God, that thing is wow. Yeah, go on there and check that out. I mean,
Okay.
it doesn't even. It's a 2-story suite. Like, yeah, I can't imagine what that's going to cost. So, yeah, lots of vacation news coming out, for sure. Let's see.
Yeah. So in a few weeks, we will have a Disney cruise expert on, right?
Yes.
That's gonna be a good hard conversation between
Yeah.
between him and I, comparing both cruise lines because I've only done one and I'm a real Caribbean.
Mhm.
So it would be really good to kind of hash things out, like sell me on this, because Disney has smaller ships. The
Mhm.
characters aren't out that long, and it's way more expensive. So, I don't know. I'm not going to rule it out that I'll never try it, but for a lot less money, you get a lot more. It's like I drive a Hyundai. but you drive the Civic. The Civic is $8,000 more with less bells and whistles. The
Hmm.
Hyundai, you get all the bells and whistles for much less money, and my Hyundai is going to run as long as your Civic. So, you know, it's what you prefer. I know. I love Disney, so it's not like I'm against it. I want to go. I want to do it, but when you go and compare both types of vacations, same cruise, same ports, do you want to pay $3,000-$4,000 more? You know? So, but we'll see, because, one thing is we're spoiled by being able to be around the characters and around Disney all the time. We don't need that extra Disney on the cruise. So, we don't feel the need to meet characters as much because we're around them all the time. So that's not a draw for us. Do we love it? Yes, but that's not a draw for us. So won't rule it out, but who knows? I'll always check if there's some kind of sale at some point. We'll try it because we love Disney. And I think Lawrence is fixing something, whatever, possibly. So I'll just I'll keep rolling. Other news in Disney. I can't. That's what stood out to me. The Jollywood and that. Country Bears. And again, why is Disney spoiling things on social media? Like, I actually don't even really remember the song now that I heard today from Trixie, but. You're just scrolling through Instagram and then boom, there's something. Like, I knew parts of Tiana before I wanted to know.
Yeah.
But, is there just a different way that they can do this? Like, you don't really have to hype it up that much. I wish there was more discreet ways to do it. I wish they would take a more discreet approach to it,
Yeah, I'm not sure why they're doing that. It's definitely a different approach than what any of us are used to. I'm not sure what the idea of that was, but I did not watch that video, and actually, I still haven't watched that video, even though I did get to go on the ride. So, I don't know. I think seeing it live is and in person is definitely something better.
Yeah. Yeah, even if you do see it, on video or whatever, it's still a great experience, even though you kind of know what's coming. I think everything's different in person for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, anything else on news?
No, I think that'll be it for now. Of course, next week will be a great show for us here with Zach Stevens from Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And the following week, we'll have Ashley from Disney Allergies with Ashley. And then the following week will be Dr. Disney coming on the show to talk about his cruise, because they will just be coming back from a cruise, and talk about all of the news that they have. So if you do not follow Dr. Disney on Facebook and Instagram, definitely go ahead and do that, because he's what I like about their outlet is that it's just straight up news. It's not there's not this negativity around it. There's not a whole lot of fluff. It's just, here's what Disney announced today. Here's some pictures of it. Here's the new merch, or whatever the case is. So I like that for sure. So I followed them for quite a long time.
And I think people comment, right? And you say that they will put them in their place if they need
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. So, like there were some folks he mentioned about Tiana's opening, and somebody was like, Splash Mountain forever. And he was like, only in your head, because it's time to move on. Here's the ride. Let's focus on the present. And stop trying to, boycott. Somebody said that they were going to boycott the ride, and he was like, "Okay,
Okay, good, because that's that much quicker. I'm getting on.
That's one less person in the
Thank
line.
you.
So great, thanks." So,
well, last year and a half ago on the podcast, I did an episode called "Embrace Change." Go back and listen to that one.
Yeah.
We want to hang on to what we love and the history, but just like Walt said, You know, it's an ongoing project. Things will continue to change and evolve. I'll say this quick on a side note. It's going to be real controversial, but Tammy and I were sitting back. We were watching one of our favorite creators to the point where I was like, I just want to watch some YouTube tonight. And we looked over to Ordinary Adventures over at Disneyland. They do an amazing job. I admire them for their technical work and all that stuff. And we flipped through their library of recent videos. I said to Tammy, what do you want to watch tonight? And she's like, well, what's going on? And I'm like, well, there's this, there's that, there's this. I'm like, all right, we'll watch this one. Can't remember the video I even clicked on. I think I fell asleep halfway through because I was just tired. I'll have to go back and watch. But it gave me a thought, though. And I said to her, maybe it's time to wipe out Magic Kingdom. I'm like, there's a lot of old stuff there. Wow. That's the way I was feeling last night. I mean, but then I started to pick it apart. I'm like, okay, though, what would be acceptable to make room? And you know what it was? I know what it was. They were at like Shanghai. And just the level of rides that they have there, the coolest things and the costumes and the parades and all this stuff. It might be time to boot MK in the butt. It'll upset a lot of people, but man, the things that are going up, the attractions that are going up around the world, and like Tammy said, we're stuck with this. Like, we're not complaining, but when you just see all the other parks getting so much attention, so it's like, what would you wipe out? And I was like, well, I would keep Pirates. I would keep Small World because you kind of have to. Kind of sentimental about Big Thunder just because, not that I met him, but I was very much in his presence of Tony Baxter and got to hear his story. People Mover, Carousel of Progress. After that, I think you could wipe it all out, and I would be fine. Let's just revamp things, or you can just build a new park and leave MK alone. So we can do that instead. How about that? Oh, but anyway, let's talk about this past week. If you're ready, are you ready yet? Or it looks like you see something intriguing.
No, I'm just checking on Nanny.
Is our sound okay?
She had echo. She had an echo, so I'm just checking. Anybody else getting an echo? I was listening to the YouTube stream.
Okay.
I didn't hear an echo. So,
my one wire that crinkles once an episode. Let's hope it doesn't this time. I bought the extra wire, and I just felt like the podcast was so far away I didn't replace it yet. So hopefully that won't happen to us. If it does, I'll unplug and disappear and come back. You'll know what's happened.
Yeah. All right.
We're
Everybody
so
else says it's okay.
Okay. Maybe go out and come back in, Nanny Pooh Bear.
She said she tried that. You might have two instances of it open. That I've done that by mistake before.
Echo. Coven Roundtree says that there's an echo on the vertical. I muted my vertical.
Let me go over. I'll listen to that one too.
All right. You want me to talk in the meantime?
Yes.
All righty then. So let me think. Well, I'll just get started on last week. So we held on to the announcement of that for a long time, and we were really, really excited. These plans that you all saw on the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th and the 6th were in the works for a long time. I really, really bugged Lawrence for a long time to get tickets for H2O Glo Nights over at Typhoon Lagoon because I felt like that was the one place that I couldn't do a stream on my own for assistance. But I did learn that I could do it on my own if I have to. Just because in maybe the first 45 minutes at least, I was alone. And I was like, you know what? I put everything in my locker and I had the phone and off I go. So we can touch more on Typhoon Lagoon in order. There was an echo on the vertical, says Anne. Well, this is our main feed, so that's what we're most concerned about. But
yeah, I'm gonna just send everybody on the vertical over to the full screen.
Okay, just end that one.
Yeah.
All right. So if we go back to, I don't know if Lawrence is going to touch on his journey getting here, or if that was smooth and good. It was good. Okay. And so I had to work on July 3rd. So I went from work, well, came home, got ready, left with Jacob and Tammy, and we hit MK for the 3rd. And it was busy as expected, but I didn't think it was super crazy, if I remember correctly. I don't think it was super crazy for a July 3rd night. So I think that night was fine. Those fireworks, they're a must see. I think they are. I think it's different. It's patriotic. Although I didn't get to talk to Lawrence about this, and I don't know if anybody noticed watching uh, the live stream, but the audio where we were standing, the audio seemed like it was off, like it was only coming from the left side. And it was a little harder to hear because people were talking around us. But normally, when I'm standing back a little bit for Happily Ever After, audio is great. So I don't know if it was our location or there was an issue. Did you notice that?
Uh, I did feel like the audio was lower. I didn't pinpoint it to being left or right, but I did feel that that was a little lower than I would have liked. It could be where we were that caused kind of an echo there. Um, I'm not sure, but yeah. So I'll go back and start from running around. So 5-year-old Finley, what we did was sent her to school that day that we left, July 2nd. And Catherine went to work. I worked. So we've been trying that just so that we take one less vacation day. But then what happens is that you have to get everything packed the day before. You've got to, time everything right. And so then it's a rush to get to the airport. And then, of course, I was low on gas, so I had to stop and get gas before I went to pick up Catherine on the way to the airport. So it was an interesting day. But we got in, no issues with the flight that day. Um, got to we stayed at All Star Music. We got 2 rooms. So my aunt had 1 room. We had a connecting room, and then Nick and Christina were down the hall from us. Um, and we got in late, but in good enough time to get there, eat, and then get ready for the next day, which we knew that the trip was going to be a busy week. There was no way around that. Although this 4th of July trip, we did not park. We didn't, well, no, we didn't park up at all. But we didn't do the 4-park challenge, but we did a lot of other stuff. I mean, Corey was in the parks Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then checked out on Sunday, right?
And came back on Monday.
And then went back on Monday. That's right. Right.
Yes, that is probably, unless we've done it before when you've been down, that might be my most traveled back and forth or streams back to back ever. I don't know. It was 4 streams in a row.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a lot. But it was fun because it was different. I think that was kind of that's what stands out to me about this trip is a lot of what we did was different. Obviously, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, but then to do Hoop-de-Doo, I've never done that. Even to be at Fort Wilderness, I've never even been to Fort Wilderness. So it was really cool to do a lot of different things. So we started out that 3rd Wednesday, got up, got the virtual queue, went back to sleep, and of course I got a virtual queue of like, I don't know, 30, 40, I think was my group. Oh no, it might have been earlier than that. So we weren't sure if they would let us in. We knew that Corey had been earlier and talked to them, and they said that they had been allowing for late arrivals and for Tiana's. So I said, well, we've got a shot at it. So we got there about 1, um, and they did let us in, but I tried to get the Tron virtual queue because silly me, I forgot that you can't carry 2 virtual queues at the same time. And you could do that when it was the annual pass holder preview, but you cannot do
Oh,
that normal. So I was still thinking about the annual pass holder preview time. So we get there and we went to ride Tiana's. That's the first thing we did. Got off of there, or as soon as we scanned into Tiana's, what did we do? We went to get the virtual queue for 1 o'clock for Tron, which was still open. So we were able to get the Tron virtual queue, which worked out well. So we got there, rode Tiana's, scanned in, and got the virtual queue. Tiana's, to me, I don't know if it was like this for you or anybody else who's been able to ride it yet, but I didn't feel like there was any feeling of Splash Mountain. Like it felt it obviously the drop is still the same, the track is still the same, but I don't think it was anything like that. Like it just was a totally different ride.
I'm smiling now because that is exactly what I told the family when I got back. I told people live when we went through that queue as meticulously as we possibly could with the line moving. I was like, everyone, I've been halfway through this queue, and this does not feel like Splash at all.
Yeah.
At all. They did a wonderful job. Ride wise, when you get to that final spot just before you turn, yeah, I mean, I was so impressed by what we see here with the office area, the business office area, the kitchen with the beignets being baked, all of that, all the items on the walls that you could read was really really cool. And I feel like there's so much to read and awards that Tiana has won that you'll notice something different every time you go through. You're gonna have to go through quite a bit to have read everything, and I encourage people to do that because it'll keep you involved and interested and learn something new about Tiana and family. So I think once you get out of the yellow walls and you take that right, where there's windows where you can look out and see the loading area, that felt like Splash all the
Yeah.
way, cave
Yeah.
wise there, which is okay. I'm fine with it. And I feel like the ride was just so much fun and enjoyable. I didn't go through much of it thinking, oh, this is where this was, this is where that was.
Right.
I just enjoyed the ride. The biggest drop. It's hard to forget. That the buzzards are above and the laughing place and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I think after the big drop, I think they did a beautiful job with the swamp and the frogs there, Naveen and Tiana, and the signage. It was all great. There's
Mhm.
TT right there. That's
Mhm.
TT, right? What's
That's
up,
right.
TT? I want to thank TT for she became a Patreon member.
Oh, well, thank
Yes,
you.
we had a
That's
lot of
great.
fun with her. We had a good time with her.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would the only other thing I remember after the big drop and then you're going back inside, I started to think about, the boat that's there back in Splash Mountain and all that. But as soon as you get in and you start to see all those visuals, all the thoughts go away. It does feel like a new ride. We were pretty lucky that day. It did seem to be running a-okay. So we were actually called before the estimate. So it did seem to be running okay. So but I loved it. I thought it was so different. Um there's the one piece there where it's I guess a medium drop. Um
yeah,
and in that you become I saw the part, I forget who it was that we were talking to that talked about the storyline there changing into where you're the size of a frog. Um So I kind of
Did you pay attention to that? Did you catch it?
I
Because I
did catch
missed
that
that.
one. Yeah, I did catch that one because I guess it's like a spell or something that she's putting on you, and so you have the smoke and all that. So I thought that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that for sure. I will definitely be doing that again. Um, and then we did go to um, Big Thunder Mountain after that because Finley wanted to ride Big Thunder Mountain. She's become a huge roller coaster enthusiast in the last 2, 3 trips.
That's
So
great.
yeah, yeah, because that means less rider swap for Catherine and I. So yeah, we did. Well, we were going to do Big Thunder. I um, I don't know. I guess I was overheated. Um, and just needed to step out. So the line actually, it was like a 30-minute wait and it ended up getting longer and longer. There was some issue with one of the trains. So the cast members came through and told us that um, the line was going to be longer. They didn't know how long it was going to be. And if you needed to leave, just go to any exit. So I was actually walking out, felt like on the side of a of a cliff there. Um, trying to exit, but there were a couple of people that exited before me and a couple after me. But it's one of the issues that people will run into now. But most of the times, the rides seem to be the wait time seemed to be pretty good now. I mean, even as busy as it was that whole time, it wasn't that bad. Um, Oh, that's right. Christina, and Nick they did Tiana's. They sat in the front and got totally drenched. We weren't in the front. We were in the 3rd row, I think, and I think, Catherine and Finley were in the last row, um, and I think I took on all the water. Uh, Theta Doreen and Catherine, or and Finley rather, wore, rain jackets, so they were okay. But no, I think I took on all the water in that ride. But yeah, it was fun. So Christina says she loved Tiana's Bayou. Art's fantastic, especially during the end where they had the Mardi Gras party, and Tiana had a beautiful Mardi Gras dress on. Um, did you feel it was as authentic as possible, Christina? Um, for those of you that
Yeah,
are
right. Because she's from Nolans.
she's from there, so she would have a speaking of which, I wanna know if she's ever gone to, Dooky Chase restaurant. I don't know, I
Dookie
meant to ask
Chase.
her.
Dookie Chase.
I meant to
Speaking of
ask.
Dookie Chase, I went ahead and got some seasonings that I have not tried yet, but we've got some Dookie Chase seasonings. So
There
cool
you go.
that we talked to family of Tiana's and they talked so much about Dookie Chase, and you walk into the Emporium and boom, Dookie Chase, seasonings. So I had to get some. So I cannot wait to try them. And when I do, I'll let everyone know.
Yeah, it's, they I bet that's really good. I bet that's really good.
That's going to be tasty. Colin Conrady is a new name we haven't seen before. Says, I watch you on YouTube, and we appreciate that, Colin. Welcome.
So so then we had a little bit of lunch over at Pecos Bill. Um, trying to think, I think because of the fireworks and wanting to be there early enough that we did skip a lot of our normal rides. I feel like we did um, Pirates, but we didn't do Haunted this trip. Oh, Christina says
ooh.
it is. They did a fantastic job. Very, very good.
See, and that's, you have to trust. You have to trust her on that.
Hmm.
You have to trust her on that. You can't have anybody that's not from there because there's no other place like NOLA. We'll call it
That's
NOLA.
right.
There's no other place like it. It's
Yep.
unique. If you're not from there, you cannot critique on that level if it's authentic or not. We had VH Gilmore come up to me in the parks, who we normally see in the chat over at People Mover, to meet me. and he told me that he told me actually what Christina told me too was they don't even put honey on beignets.
Mm-hmm.
And so why is Disney putting honey on beignets? Like I'd like to ask is it good? Maybe it is. I haven't tried them yet, but why? It's not authentic. So why are you doing that? Who's
Yeah,
in charge of that?
yeah, that's what I had told Christina is like it's Disney's take on a beignet. So d- don't expect that. And then she said, "Well, why didn't they just use the ones they use in Port Orleans?" I don't know. Can't tell you. Like,
You know what I've discovered in trying different beignets over at Port Orleans is when you see chocolate dipping sauce and strawberry and all the different toppings they'll put on the different ones, they're all good. They are all good.
mhm,
But when you just get down to the bare beignet, there's nothing better than a bare beignet with the powder. That
mhm.
when you just take it like that, there's nothing better than that.
Um, so was it James? Yeah, and Cliff will be riding the original Splash Mountain in October. Is that right, Cliff? I think it's October. So
Nice.
Cliff will have to come on and tell us how that experience was going over there.
Is Cliff gonna vlog that experience? I don't
Mm,
know if it's worth vlogging because if it's exactly the same, but it probably won't be in English
yeah,
either. So
yeah.
I wonder if he feels like it's going to be a valuable thing to vlog it. That would be interesting. And
And
what park is that in? Is that in Shanghai or Tokyo Disney Sea?
I do not remember. He'll have to tell us.
I'm just asking because Jacob's going to Tokyo Disney Sea next
Oh,
year,
that's right.
so
That's right.
we got to get some vlogs out of that boy. Listen, we got some high tech stuff happening. I told that boy, give us some vlogs for that. I don't know if he's going for 1 day or two over there, but
Mhm.
even if we get one, I said, just take that data, drop it into Dropbox while you're over there, and I will literally edit that stuff like the next day if I can get my hands on it while you're still over there,
Nice.
and we'll put it out. Should be
So
good.
James says that Tiana's place might be replacing Pecos Bill. There hasn't been an official announcement. That's a rumor. I don't know how strong a rumor it is. I still,
D23.
yeah, I think we're going to hear about it at D23. I still say behind there, they, that long queue and where you come out, you have the bathrooms and the photo shop where you get the photos for Tiana's now. I still think that whole building there could be a restaurant if they really wanted to do it and keep it kind of contained there if they wanted to. But if they do revamp Frontierland, then it would make sense that they do it across the street there. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm just starting to get into the rhythm and got Jacob into the rhythm of Pecos Bill, so I kind of don't want that to go now.
Yeah, I'm good with that one. I think I think it's good food. Tastes much healthier than a lot of the other food in that park for
Some of
sure.
the best options for quick service right there,
Yep.
for sure. Cliff says that I will be documenting the heck out of Tokyo. I can't wait to watch them, Cliff. I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah, that'll
Honey
be.
is absolutely not a thing on beignets, and yes, extra powdered sugar is the best, says Cece.
Mm-hmm. Um.
Had such a great time with Cece
Mm-hmm.
and Nick. We love your family. We do. It's so much fun to hang out with you all. Good people. Splash is different in Tokyo than Disneyland. It also has its own restaurant, says Cliff, which I've never seen that restaurant before. So we're looking forward to that. We need a food review, Cliff.
Yes.
You can always
Catherine
take me
does
with
not
you.
like. Catherine doesn't like the beignets at Magic either. I was
Wow.
okay with them. They're just different, but I think if they wouldn't have called them beignets, um, then they could have called them ben knots or something. I don't know. Then people would have been okay with them, but they're very different
All
than the
right.
ones
So I'm
over
gonna
there.
I'm gonna continue to accept my expectations low when I try them.
Yeah.
And you know who has trash beignets? Universal.
Oh, when do they
Yeah,
do them? Just during?
I I'd be willing to compare when they do Mardi Gras.
Uh-huh.
They're not that good. They're not that good. I don't know if anybody from Nolans is in chat that has tried the Universal ones, but they are not good. So it'll be interesting to see where they rank against the Magic Kingdom ones, because
Yeah.
we know the king is Port Orleans. I'd like to ask Cece in chat if she's had the Port Orleans ones, and are those a dead ringer for what you would get in New Orleans?
Darlene says that I made a very eloquent statement, which doesn't sound like me at all. To people that get mad at people using a dash pass, what do I say to people that get mad that my granddaughter is in a stroller online? I, I personally, it's not their business. Uh, she has a right to be there just like anybody else. So I wouldn't even worry about it.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, yeah. Good question, but I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, just do people say things to you when you're in line with the stroller? I mean,
Wow.
I haven't dealt with a stroller in a long time, Lawrence. And you don't see a lot of strollers in line. Most queues make you put them somewhere at some point. So,
Yeah,
um,
unless she might have a red tag, and that's why she's asking. Um,
what does a red tag mean for those who don't
uh,
know?
where so red tag? Well, they changed the colors, but it used to be red. I think it's purple now. Where you're using the stroller as a in place of a wheelchair because it's easier for the child that might have a need for that. So again, I just don't think it's anybody's business. If Disney has approved you to use it, that's all that matters. You know, I mean, she's there to have as much fun just like everybody else. Her fun's just going to be a little bit different, and she has a need. Um, and I would think that people would be more accepting of it, but that's society today.
Yeah, and that's your right. So don't worry about it.
Yep. Yep.
Hopefully, we gave you some good words of advice there. Hello, Court on Main Street. Good to see you. Speaking of Court, I keep relating her to the Zoom call. She might be able to make it. I will send out that invite after the DizPod for all of you who are waiting on the Zoom call invite. I'll send it out. I don't like to send it out this close to the date, but we are going to do that this Thursday. Wait, that's tomorrow. We're doing it tomorrow, so check your email, and hopefully Krubaka will be there too. I miss him. It's been a bit. I feel like it's been a while. So we'll be doing that. We'll get back on to our regular once a month Zoom call schedule. We just had such a busy start of the summer. It was
Yeah.
really hard to get that in. So we'll be happy to be back on that for sure.
Yeah. So then about that time, we met up with Corey and the family. We went to
Where are we on the timeline? Are we still on July 3rd or are we on July 4th?
on the third. So we
On
went
the 3rd.
to went over to Tomorrowland, had some fun over there, did People Mover, Carousel of Progress, and then about that time, it was time for Tron, our callback for Tron. But we wanted to get in line for the fireworks or a spot for fireworks. So the Theaterine actually went over and held our spot for us. And then we went over to Tron. They said it was going to be like a 45 to 50-minute wait to get in, even though we had the virtual queue. So we said, maybe we should skip it or hopefully come back. So they said, well, go ahead and come back after fireworks. So they let us come back. So we headed over there, met you guys on Main Street, saw a great fireworks display. If you have not been there to see it, I understand that it is busier than most days at Magic Kingdom, but it is so worth it to see the fireworks in 360. You're standing there looking at the castle, and all of a sudden they're going off to the sides of you, they're going off behind you. It's just so much fun. So if you can get there to see them, I would certainly see them. And then what did we do? We did People
Thank
moving
you for holding
apart.
that spot for us, though. Thank you for holding that spot. I was very excited when you said we got a spot.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. We were able to fit everybody in that spot and have a good time. And then, funny enough, Dr. Disney, who I was following, posted about July 3rd and showing the crowd at Magic Kingdom, and he, has the camera and he's going past, and as he comes back, I spot Corey, myself, my brother Nick. So we were in his video. So I sent it to him. I was like, "Hey, if you want to know whose podcast you're going to be on, we're right here." so, so we were on
you know
there.
what's funny? Tammy showed me another posting, and it could have been his, but I feel like it was a different person. So I think we were on more than one video that night.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Let's
Uh,
take a moment to just let's blast the chat for Find the Fun, who just became the latest LID Club member at the Magical Express level.
Welcome in. We appreciate that.
Can
So
you answer this question for Cliff? Oh, you clicked on it. There you go.
no, I don't think so. So it did not feel like it was only 7 minutes to me. It felt about as long as it normally is, or had been in years past. I'm assuming you're talking about Epcot fireworks because Magic is certainly longer. But yeah, a couple people had said that, but it didn't feel shorter to me. But I could be wrong. But I think what happens a lot of times is the Magic Kingdom fireworks is a totally different show, right? So you're not adding a tag on to Happily Ever After. You're getting the actual 4th of July fireworks, which the name is escaping me right now. But with Luminous, you're just getting the tag. So it does feel a little bit shorter. But that felt as long as it has before to me. So yeah, I don't think it was any shorter. I mean, we have it. We could just go back and watch. We'll let you know.
I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, there you go. See, he's checking it out. So yeah, we had a good time that night. Ended with Starbucks. Had some fun over there in Starbucks. The cast members were
Oh,
phenomenal.
yes. Talk about that.
And in fact, we're gonna bring this up here. So if you would, you can give a cast compliment. I'll leave that up there for a few minutes. It was in Magic Kingdom on Main Street dining. Maddie from Presky. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Pennsylvania.
Praski, Pennsylvania. Peraskie on 7/3/24.
Yeah, she was great. I mean, all the folks in there were really a lot of fun. And then Catherine and I were able to mess with Corey, because we know how he loves when they spell Corey with an E. So
I'm very protective of that.
so we told her, we're like, hey, that's my co-host over there. He's getting a drink. His name is Corey, but when you call him, call it with an E.
And she called it out, and she's like Corey with an E, and said my drink, and I'm like, okay, that's my name and my drink, but I don't spell it that way. And I was very hesitant to go over to that drink, and Maddie and all of us had a really good laugh about that. And then I had the drink, right? And it's funny because when we were in line and we were ready to order our initial order, I was maybe looking to mix it up with something else, and they had this new like cookie crumble frappuccino kind of thing.
Right.
And I thought about it for a minute. I'm like, I'm really curious about that, but I guess I'll just get the usual. And I think I got the LID. I don't know what I got that night. Did I go with the LID number 3 special, or did I go with the? Yeah, I think I did. I don't even remember. But anyway, she calls out next. She says, "Free cookie crumble frappuccino." And everybody's just looking at everybody. And then it was like a tractor beam being pulled into the Death Star. I walked to her with my arms out like this, and I was like, free? I'll take it.
Yeah, she called it an oopsie. They made an
Yeah, it was an oopsie. It was an oopsie. And I shared it with Tammy and Jacob because it was so good. So good. That's probably the best frappuccino type of drink I've ever had at Starbucks. it was very flavorful, and it felt like you got chunks of chocolate chip cookie in it. So highly recommend that one. I will probably get that at some point again. Then they gave away a free croissant, and Tammy goes, "What's with the free stuff tonight?" More oopsies.
Another oopsie. So yeah, it was a fun night for sure. And but let me tell you, it was hot out there, folks. It was hot. Um, I'm sure with the heat index, it was probably about 105, somewhere in that range, if I remember correctly. Um, so make sure if you're going to do, there's no reason not to um, go to the parks in the summertime. And a lot of people, you're either teachers or you have kids in school, so that's the only time you can go, which makes sense. But Fourth of July is a great holiday to be there. Just be prepared for the heat, and make sure that you're doing everything that you can to protect yourself. Sunblock, take breaks, go watch Mickey's PhilharMagic, go do Carousel of Progress, go indoors. Don't just do outdoor ride, outdoor ride, outdoor ride. Go in and out to keep yourself cooled down as much as you can. And, grab a Dole Whip. Why not? In fact, I think
Always.
Faithy Doreen was that the first time you had Dole Whip? I think. Um, but we did that. And we had what I call the pina colada. It was the pineapple coconut swirl. Oh, so good.
By the way, the Epcot fireworks were cut to less than 7 minutes.
Less than 7 minutes. Okay.
More like 5 or 6.
Okay. There you go.
So if Cliff is still watching, there's your answer.
Yeah. And Theta Doreen said she's got 9 minutes and 16 seconds for magic. So.
Oh, for the magic fireworks?
Mm-hmm. So we'd have to look back on last year to see how long they were. So.
Yeah, to compare.
Yeah. Yep. And then Epcot, we had a great day over at Epcot on 4th of July. We did not get Guardians.
We did.
Yes, I know. You and I are going to talk about that later.
Are we? Oh, could I be in trouble, everyone? So I got Guardians in the morning, and when Jacob and I were walking into the parking lot, he's like, "So should we try to get on Guardians?" And I was like, "No, I think we're getting here so late that it's going to take up most of the night, and let's just go find Lawrence and everybody and hang with them." I said, "But you're giving me flashbacks from last year when we tried to get on Guardians and we were going up against time with the fireworks for the 4th, and we almost lost at least I almost lost my annual pass that day because I almost went through a restricted door just to get to the fireworks in a panic."
Yeah. Panic was setting in that night for sure. So we made sure that did not happen this time. Got a good spot. You were able to see Luminous and all the center barges, and then the fireworks over America's pavilion. So that was a lot of fun. And what was cool is that Alyssa and Neil had not seen it before. As long as they've lived here 4 years or whatever, and as many times as they've come to Disney before that, that was his first time seeing them at Epcot, and he was absolutely blown away. The only thing is it had rained that day, so the air was very heavy, so you had a lot of the smoke sitting there. But he was absolutely blown away, and loved the narration in the show and everything. So he had a lot I got to go back and watch that again. But he had a lot to say after the fireworks ended about what they meant to him. So I absolutely loved that and loved seeing him see them. So that was really cool.
Oh, is that when Neil took the stream and talked to everybody?
Yeah.
Or when you talked privately with him?
No. When he took the stream. Yeah, he took the stream.
Oh, I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah.
He just took it and I walked away.
Well, so when he did that, I was watching him and I could see he was very animated, and I was like, okay, I got to go listen. So I just went and stood next to him, and listen to him talk about that a little bit. So, yeah, the air was heavy because it had rained that day, and we got stuck in a rainstorm trying to get from Figment over to Connections. And then poor Catherine had left to go to Hollywood because Finley wanted to ride Slinky Dog. So she was like, well, we'll just park up. It'll be easy. We'll get on the Skyliner. So they got to Caribbean Beach and then they shut down the Skyliner for lightning and rain.
Oh,
Um,
no.
so then they tried to get the bus and then they got wet trying to get the bus. And then because it was raining so heavy, Slinky Dog was down. So they ended up going back to Epcot and getting soaked on the way. But it was still a great day. It's 4th of July in Disney World. What can you do?
Then
Uh,
LID showed up.
and then they all showed up. We had a great time that night. We did not do the World Showcase walkthrough. We went to get Finley back to the resort. So Nick and Christina did the World Showcase walkthrough with well, I didn't even know. Was it just you or were Tammy and Jacob with
It was Tammy and Jacob. Initially, we were like, you know what? Tammy didn't want to stay out too late, but when she looked at the crowd leaving, and she's like, "Let's just go do the World Showcase walkthrough." I'm like, "Okay, don't have to tell me twice."
Yeah.
So we did an abbreviated version. We didn't deep dive into all the countries, but just had a nice walk and chat, and had a good time doing that. At the same time, am I misremembering here? Was that also extra magic hours?
Yes.
Yeah, so we were able to take our time a little bit, and I think we went in and did a little shopping,
No,
just kind of.
I'm sorry. It wasn't. That
Oh,
was Thursday.
it wasn't.
Yeah,
Okay,
I was thinking about Wednesday.
Oh, okay, I can't remember if we went in shopping after that then, but had a nice time doing that.
And so that was our third year in a row doing Magic Kingdom on the 3rd and Epcot on the 4th. And that reason is because it's our anniversary. 4th of July is our anniversary. So we've always been into fireworks, especially because of that. So we've seen fireworks in New York, we've seen them in DC, we've seen them in North Carolina, obviously, in a couple different places. But definitely seeing them in Disney World is just incredible. Plus, you have a lot of stuff to do during the day, so it was very cool.
I left probably on the 4th, saying to Tammy and Jacob that at this point, this has probably become a tradition. At this point, especially if you guys can make it, like the 4th of July week or whatever, we watch these together and we do something maybe special. I don't know if we could, hey, we could just still do Typhoon Lagoon again. If it all lines up. That was a good time, which brings us to Thursday.
So that was Thursday,
Friday.
or excuse me, Friday, and we had never been to Typhoon Lagoon, so
let's back that up for 1 second. It's not stream related, but Ann Gilnack is in chat, and we thanked her a million times, and I just want to thank Ann for finally coming down and allowing us to meet her and spend some time. Of all the stuff we did, the most special thing to me of everything we did in those 4 or 5 days was spending a couple of hours beside Ann and having dinner and just talking our heads off together.
And that was another first. So getting to meet Anne, but we had also never been to Maria and Enzo's, and so that was another first that we were able to do there. I had never had a chicken parm that was the size of it was crazy.
The size of Chicago. They do. You can get that over at in Italy in Epcot as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that one was very good. But if I remember that one compared to what we had at Maria and Enzo's, I thought Maria and Enzo's chicken parmesan was the best I've ever had. And I think what made the difference on it was the size. They pound the chicken. Wasn't it in the bread? In the coating, there was some seasoning in the coating that just really made it pop for me over any other chicken parmesan I've ever had.
So I had the one in Italy, and I did like that one better, if I remember correctly. But this one was still really, really good. Really good. And did you know we had to look it up to see what Maria and Enzo's used to be because we figured it had to be something before it was Maria and Enzo's, and it was apparently BET nightclub before.
Man, when we went in, and I'll just say, shout out to the entire staff of cast members over there at Maria and Enzo's. They were fantastic because we had a large party. I think it was like 16 or something like that.
Mhm.
And they were so accommodating. They really were. And I would say this maybe. I'll just try to speak for all restaurants across Walt Disney World. It can be difficult to try to go online and reserve a large group. But really, if you just show up, I think that they will make the accommodations that
Yeah,
they need to get you in. And they put two tables. They saved two tables. They didn't put them together, but they were as close as they could be. And they were so what's the word I'm looking for? They were just calm about it
yeah,
because you were supposed to be there at a certain time, and then you guys were running late. And I informed them. They're like, no worries, no worries. And then the second time I said, well, would you mind if we sat? And they're like, yeah, come on down, come and sit. And they'll be on their way in a few minutes, and we'll just bring them in when they come. I said, okay, that works. So when they said go downstairs, you enter that small area at Maria and Enzo's,
yeah.
and then you enter that doorway, and my eyes just lit up like Christmas trees. I was like, whoa. I
Right.
just got off Royal Caribbean where they stack the dining rooms, level 3, 4, 5, or whatever it is. Huge dining rooms. And
Mhm.
this was like one of them. You just looked down and it was circular and it was huge. So what a cool atmosphere. Staircases that wrapped around the ends, and then we ate down at the bottom, and our view was the water
Right.
at Disney Springs, right near the balloon. It was a great atmosphere. The staff was amazing. The food was all amazing. The cannolis I had. Uh, Jill is a really tough critic, and her ravioli was amazing. Tammy had spaghetti, and they actually substituted a big chicken breast instead of the meatballs for her. So everyone all around, I don't think anybody had a single problem. Alyssa and Neil had. Did Neil? No, Alyssa had the steak,
Yep.
which was also very good. So everything there, we highly recommend it. I would say overall, Maria and Enzo's is a Mickey's Diz kiss, a 5 out of 5 for Living in Diz. And we'll go back. We'll do a live review next time.
Yeah. So this is a picture of it. That's the dining room there. So you walk in, as he said, on the top row, and then you've got these two staircases that go down, or one staircase goes down.
Maybe
Um,
click on one of those pictures. They can see it better.
yeah, it won't open that way for me. Let's see.
It won't blow it up.
No.
Okay.
But it's really nice. I mean, just beautiful building for sure. So great night there for sure. Um, and
So then we
then
moved on. We had to leave. I was sad. We had to leave our
yeah,
group to go to Typhoon Lagoon. So go ahead.
yeah. So Corey drove, and we did not. So we jumped on the bus, that was easy enough because you have to, if you're going to Typhoon Lagoon, you have to go to Disney Springs to catch the transfer. So the only buses to Typhoon Lagoon are at Disney Springs. So we were already there, so that was easy. So we get there, got lockers, got changed, and again, we had never been there. So I didn't really know what to expect. And Finley had never been to a water park. So we didn't know how she was going to take that.
We were going into the storm.
I mean, who knows? And first thing we did was, kind of walk around a little bit. We kind of lost Corey. He went in that direction. We went off that way. They went in the,
Well, I don't know what happened. Did you follow Finley? Because I changed, and I was like, I'll hang by the DJ and wait for you. But you
yeah,
guys didn't show up after a bit, and then next thing I know, you're like, "Hey, we're in the lazy river," and I was like, "Okay, let me get in," but there was no way I was catching you all.
no, and so that was the other thing is like once, so they got in and I let them go, and then I'm like, all right, well, he should be coming. Let me see if I can go meet up with him because he's probably going this way down, to enter the river here. Totally just never found you. So I just like, well, let me get in the river because I think at that point you were on the river. So I'm like, he's got to be here somewhere. We never bumped into each other. And that that river, the river and the wave pool are ginormous. To me, they just seem like they're the biggest ones, ever. So yeah, we had a great time there. Of course, the water is not cold. I was worried it was going to be cold, but it's not. It's
No, it's very comfortable, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. So we did that. Then they got in the wave pool, and Finley loved it. I mean, you could see the smile on her face, jumping in the water in the lazy river. She had never really been on a lazy river. I said, who knows? But nope, she loved it. And then one of the other things, so we did the wave pool, had a great time there.
Oh, I missed characters.
Yes, so there were some characters out. I did catch him over. I couldn't even describe it to you. That was the other thing, is it felt so weird, right? Being a park bro and not knowing a thing about that park. No clue. Like somebody had messaged me.
Oh, I get lost very, very easily there. I was
Yeah.
I was really relying on maybe Catherine to look at the map and be like, "We're going this way," or whoever was doing it, navigating.
Yeah, they were like, Corey's over and blah blah blah. Okay, I don't know where that is.
Yeah, that could be around the corner or like, a 5-minute walk from here.
Yeah. So here's some other shots that I took. They had that nice vehicle outside, welcoming you into the after hours party. And then, of course, the Mickey floats that everybody takes pictures by.
Oh my. Look at that. Look at that that quote. I enjoyed watching Typhoon Lagoon so much. I booked a trip to go back there on my scooter. They have elevators for handicapped so I can ride Crush and Gusher. Wow, Grandma Grover, that's amazing. I'm so proud of you. That is awesome.
That's really cool. That's really
Yes.
cool. Good. I hope you have a great time. It was a lot of fun. And then we met up with Corey. We were all in the wave pool. Finley went to do the little water slide that's in the wave pool, and then we went to do the big ones behind it.
Listen,
And
when you met up with me, right? I got to interrupt you. Sorry.
go ahead.
What was I doing when you met me and when you crossed my path in the wave pool? What was I doing? I had more than a gimbal or more than a phone in my hand.
So I don't know why I didn't think to do this. I should have taken a picture. Probably more so for blackmail than anything else. Corey ate an ice cream sandwich, folks.
And Mickey.
You know on this show, a Mickey ice cream sandwich. On this show, it's actually in the opening of the show, right? It's in the opening of the show. Why was Corey eating an ice cream sandwich?
I thought it would just be funny to do so, and I wanted to try it because someone along the course of these podcasts in chat said, "Well, it has cookie crumbles in it," and I was like, "Okay," and so I defended myself and I said, "Listen, I always said I would never buy one." But if it's free, I might make an exception. It doesn't make sense to buy your hard-earned, take your hard-earned money and buy a Mickey ice cream sandwich because you can get them at the store. But you can't get Mickey ice cream bars at the store. You can get them, but they are still not the same.
So yeah, somebody somewhere has. I'm going to contact Disney. I'm sure Typhoon Lagoon has. So
it was good. I enjoyed it.
Cameras.
But I only enjoyed it because it was free. I did want to go back and have a Mickey ice cream bar, but we just never we never went by another snack table.
I know. So here's the thing. We went out to dinner, and so that's why we didn't get there, but until after 8. So the next time we do H2O Glo Nights, we will get there earlier. Because you can get
we had a special occasion.
Party starts. Because the party starts at 8, they allow you in at 6. So you could do a lot of that. I mean, I could only imagine what we could. Once we met up with Corey, what did we do? 3 I mean, we kind of hung out in the wave pool a little bit, and then we did 3 slides in the back, plus the one you guys did at the very end. The
Okay, yeah, because I think I counted. I did 6. I think
Mm,
I did 6 total for myself.
yeah,
Uh, it was funny. So we go down the racing slide.
yeah.
It was Cece and Nick and me. I was gonna let you go and race them, and Lawrence kind of backed off, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll jump on. And I went and I shot down way faster than I expected. And I had the camera up like this. So any of you watching must have been amazed at the camera work and I was amazed too. Like, how did that not come out of my hand? And that's what the cast member said after I came to a dead stop with the waves just crashing at the camera and everything. He goes, "How did you hold on to that thing?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. Just years of riding everything." So then I go, "Where's Lawrence?" And we're waiting. And then I see you just kind of strolling down the ramp. And I'm like, "What's happening? What happened to Lawrence?" So apparently you don't like that kind of slide. So,
Yeah, so I don't swim. Um, but I'm good with, water parks, although we don't go to many. Um,
do you
but
not know how to swim?
no, no.
Tammy doesn't either.
See that? So so on and it's not even like a fear of that. I mean, the pool is that you're under
Yeah,
is
there's no swimming required on that one.
yeah. So it's not even that, but it's the like I'm good on like the floats, the tubes, those with tubes, single person, double, 4 people. The one that we did was fun, but I don't like the ones where you're just on your back going down or whatever. So I skipped that on that one.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those two. Like, I'd rather do the raft ones just because when you come down, um, I'm just afraid of water rushing up my nose to my eyeballs.
Mm,
So there's always a little bit of fear at the end of that when you come in. But I feel like the actual slides that were like that I did the other day, it's almost like you slowed down. You just kind of once you hit that water and that resistance, you slowed down and you calmly just sunk into the water. That was
mhm.
that was pretty pleasing because I expected to really get rushed, and
Yeah.
I didn't. So that was pretty cool.
And so we did not get really any of the snacks until like right at the very end, where it was like, oh my god, we've been here, party's almost over, we haven't gotten any snacks. So then people were grabbing popcorn and a soda here and there. So yeah, I would definitely take advantage of that the next time. But the atmosphere is great. You have the glow sticks and the DJs playing music all night. He played Mariah Carey, "All I Want for Christmas Is You." I didn't hear why he did that. I assumed it was a Christmas in July type thing that he did.
Sure.
But we had a lot of fun. Everybody had fun when we were all together, and Finley was an absolute champ. And took those slides like it was nothing. So good for her. And then that was another late night getting back, because again, we were at Typhoon Lagoon. We had to get back to Disney Springs, and then from Disney Springs, get back to All Star Music. Um, but it was great. I would absolutely do that again.
You
Absolutely.
guys, Nick was yelling "Park Bros" from the bus stop, so I decided to crank up Luminous as loud as I could, just about. And he didn't hear it. He said he didn't hear it from the parking lot the
Yeah,
next
the
day when I
buses were
asked him.
loud.
But I was cranking up some Luminous when I was leaving the parking lot. So, then we get to Saturday, right? And it was everything I expected and more. I thought it was so much fun, right? It was so much fun to see the newly remodeled DVC rooms together
Yeah,
between my family and Neil's and you guys, and share with our entire LID family. First look, that's something that we like to do too live. We like to check into resorts live and open the door with all of you together at the same time and experience that whole thing. And it was great. I'm gonna cut that down into a room tour. Hey, I like to be different. That's a room tour that no one else is gonna post.
hmm
you
hmm
know, with all of us in there, just having some fun comments and really checking things out. So Really liked the room. We really enjoyed it. Came back, watched some Mickey shorts, and we didn't bring any snacks though, so I savored the juice that we had and had a Starburst and watched some Mickey shorts. Then we laid in bed. Jill stayed out on the pullout, and Jacob took the top bunk. And actually, before that, though, Jillian and Tammy were up at the top bunk hanging out, which I thought was kind of cute. But Tammy and I took the bed, and Jacob took the top bunk, and Jill slept out in the pullout. And just had a good time as a family, enjoyed some laughs and chit-chatted. And I was the first, I'm the one with all the energy, but I'm always the first to fall asleep. So I was out cold shortly after lying in bed and chit-chatting. Does that cabin sleep 6 or more? Well, the bed that was the pull-out, the Murphy bed near the dining area, could fit 2 adults. And then there's another bed that could fit 2 adults, and then bunk beds. So could fit 6 easily.
Yep.
Matter of fact, I invited Lawrence to stay if he wanted to, and it would have worked because Finley could have slept with you guys, and we could have just slept in the room.
Yeah.
So really nice, really nice. Tammy really loved the shower. The shower head was big. It was like a rain shower. The water was nice and hot. So we liked it. So we did that, and then we jumped. I think we only had time to jump on our golf carts and get over to the Hoop-de-Doo.
Yeah. And you know what I thought was interesting? So like I said, I had never been to Fort Wilderness until that day. And we went golf. Now, I did make one mistake. We went to Magic because, of course, we had to transfer. We were using the buses. So we went to Magic from All-Star and then got over to Fort Wilderness. But instead of taking the bus, we took the boat, which was nice. I'd never been on that part of the lagoon, right? But the problem is the boat leaves you off in the back where Hoop-de-Doo is. But the golf carts are in the front. So then I had to get
oh no
in the front. So if I were to do it again, I'd probably just take the bus and so that it leaves you off in the front. But getting the golf cart was no problem because you already pay for them. So you have it reserved. You already have it paid so you just show your license. They give you a little spiel about safety and all that, and then you're on your way. They do also have 6 passenger golf carts, but those go really quickly. So yeah, if you ever go there and you want a 6-person golf cart, you better reserve it as early as you can because they go very fast.
Strawberry Hibiscus says that's probably a good resort to stay at Christmas time. Yes, because people decorate. Just jumping ahead for a second, at the end of the stream, we drove around for a while, just going down the different roads and looking at how people decorated for July 4th. So that was a lot of fun. But of course, Halloween and Christmas, they really go all out. Yeah. So even more. So we're talking about the way out of that is you can rent a campsite where you just put a tent on. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's about $50. So if we paid the $50 there and the $70 for the cart and rode around for a while, we could certainly do that and show everybody that would be kind of fun to do.
And I think that's what a lot of people do when they want to go see it at Christmas time.
Yeah,
they tend to do that. But I've seen it on streams before, but seeing it in person was really, really cool. Really cool.
It's so relaxing, right? I just like driving the golf cart. I woke up in the morning and I would jumping around a little bit, but I woke up Sunday morning and the pool was right near us, what they call the quiet pool. And I wish that the family would have brought their bathing suits. They didn't bring them. I was the only one. And if they would have, I would have tried to get everybody to go out there when the stream ended after like 11 o'clock at night, because the cast member told me, I said, what's the time for the pool? And she said, I've been out there as late as 2 in the morning. If you're quiet, no one will bother you. I said, okay.
See, that's kind of what they told us by Treehouse Villas too.
Yeah.
It was whatever time. So good to know.
Yes. So I went over there in the morning and it was quiet. There's just a family or two in there and enjoyed the atmosphere like that for a little bit. and then I got on the golf cart because we hadn't really had a chance to really shop and buy merch. So, and we weren't sure. What you have to be aware of for everybody that might consider staying there, there is not a lot of places for regular cars to park outside of where you're staying.
Yeah.
So Hoop-Dee-Doo does not have parking for cars. And the gift shop doesn't have, it has 4 spots for parking. The trading post, the main one. And it's only 15-minute parking. And so you got to catch that just right in order to be able to park there and check it out. So I drove down while Tammy was getting ready to see what the options were with that. So we did get in the car and we went down and we did a little shopping. I bought a really cool Chippendale sign that flips to Christmas. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, that's what we did in the morning. And we just dissected that a little bit. You really do need a golf cart. I don't think there's any way around it. You need a golf cart if you're staying at Fort Wilderness. There's no decisions about it. You have to.
One thing that I learned about Fort Wilderness is you could go there, spend an entire week, and not step foot into any of the parks. There's so much to do there. When we were riding around the golf carts, there were folks that were just hanging out on their porch, the front of their RVs. And so we stopped and asked them, and Catherine was like, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" She said, "How long are you here, and how many days did you go to the park?" And they I think were on day 4, and they had no plans on going to the parks because they were with people, their annual pass holders, but the people they were with weren't. So they just went just to kind of hang out and enjoy the Fort Wilderness. I mean, we passed the water park area. It's kind of like a splash pad. Corey talked about the pool. We went and did s'mores. We did the campfire sing along. And then they were showing Encanto after that. So you could have made an entire day out of that. And that was after we went to Hoop-Dee-Doo. So what we did in the afternoon before Hoop-Dee-Doo is we went to Tri-Circle D Ranch. And so they've got this galliope there. So there's a little bit of history on that. Obviously, they have plenty of history about Walt Disney and his love for horses and animals. But again, talking about first, Finley got to ride a pony.
Oh, nice.
And she had never done that. And she, again, was a trooper, just decided to do it. I don't know how they managed to have a helmet that matched her dress and Catherine's shirt, but totally
that's free too, right?
That was 10 or $15.
Okay.
Yeah. And so for us, Catherine led the pony around. His name is Hershey, or her name. I can't remember if it's a boy or girl. And so she led Hershey around. So she got to lead a pony and Finley got to ride a pony. So certainly first for our family during that whole event. And then obviously Hoop-Dee-Doo was an absolute ball. What a blast that show is.
Hoop-Dee-Doo, I heard great things about it, and it exceeded my expectations. The cast was very talented. It was a lot of fun. My only challenge during it was when it first began, not ever experiencing it, was we began with our appetizers, I guess you could call them, right? And let me say one thing I said, I love a restaurant that already has food on the table as you're walking towards it.
Yeah.
The cornbread was really, really good. The whole family signed off on that. The coleslaw was really good. And the salad was really good with that particular dressing as well to start.
Yeah, it was.
Then they rolled out the ribs and the chicken. It was National Fried Chicken Day on that day. What better way to celebrate that? And what else came out with that? Mac and cheese and baked beans.
Baked
mashed potatoes. It was all good. It was all solid food, good comfort food. For me, my preference, see, listen, it's just I'm not bragging. It's just a fact. The ribs, and the family would say, the ribs I make here now are so good that it's hard to measure up when I go to a restaurant.
Hmm.
I mean, mine fall off the bone. You can hardly get it out of the cooker without the meat falling off. But they were still good though. They weren't suck off the bone, but the meat came off the bone pretty well. But I'm not a big smoke fan. Like they were smoked, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if
Yeah.
you added the side barbecue sauce, it did put them over the top. So I think I gave a solid 4 out of 5 for taste, 5 out of 5 for taste, but for texture, I gave it like a 4. So still very good. And I ate my share. I probably had 7 ribs. So and the strawberry shortcake was good. A restaurant that sings about the food and then brings you that food is also a great thing because they sung about strawberry shortcake and had signs and
Yeah.
everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, bring it on. The strawberry shortcake looked like a big pancake, didn't it?
It
Like a
did.
big fat pancake.
Yeah.
It was good, fluffy, good. So great experience there. I'm glad we didn't get pulled on stage. So I'm glad none of that happened. And you have a cast member compliment there too.
Yeah, this is another one for Justin, who was in the Starbucks that night. So I'll leave that up there for a few minutes. No, we didn't get pulled up on stage, but we did call out your anniversary, and Catherine and my anniversary, and then we danced, which
You
I
did.
didn't know that was going to be in the plan.
Ah,
So there you go, Shannon, who a couple weeks ago was asking for me to dance. I don't know why.
there it is.
There it is.
I got that on stream too, so that is documented now.
That is forever
Listen,
in YouTube.
so I have it in the can on YouTube. I'm gonna release that at some point. I did a condensed version. I edited down the live stream for our Hoop-de-Doo experience. If anyone wants to watch that when it comes out, and it'll just be there as an evergreen kind of video. If people want to check out the Hoop-de-Doo experience, it'll be a little much longer. It's an hour long compared to a 15 or 20-minute vlog.
Yeah.
But when I was editing it, I'll just say this about Hoop-de-Doo. They were going around and they were asking people how many, do we have any anniversaries and blah, blah, blah. So I called the girl over and I'm like, yeah, 22 years for my wife and I. And when she called it out, I didn't feel like we got that much applause. I had the headphones on. I was editing and I'm like, played it back and I'm like, it sounded like 4 people clapped on that. What, 22 isn't enough for all of you people in this day and age? 22? But yeah, just an observation. But I did notice, and they deserved it. 60 years was
60
after
years.
us, and the house just erupted. But
Yeah. 60
I was
years.
like, I didn't notice it when we were there, but I was like, wow, we didn't really get much of a cheer there.
I thought, I'd heard that they might pull you up on stage, stuff like that, but I thought the interaction that they did do was even better because you're eating and well, they did pull the 4 folks up at the very end, but you're eating, and so that was fine. I did not get the thing with the napkins flinging.
Oh, the funny thing was, I didn't know about it, but it was like natural, like I've done it a million times. Like as soon as the first napkin went up, boom, my napkin was up, and we were just swinging those napkins like we were at Chef Mickey's. And we had a lot of fun comments in the chat as well. Like, that's how they clean the napkins. And,
Yeah.
crumbs flying everywhere. Thank you, Alicia, for that cast member compliment for sure. So, yeah, really fun time over there.
Yeah.
And we will do it again. We will do it again. So that'll probably become an annual thing for us to do. I feel like, oh, and by the way, when Hoop-de-Doo was done, right, we made a mad dash to Chip and Dale, like you talked about. We still caught the tail end of that. We still got to see Chip and Dale come out. You guys did s'mores. And then we went over to the lake. And I didn't even know you could see happily ever after fireworks from there.
Clear.
So
Clear.
three technical things that happened. We're currently having an issue with one of the apps we use. So we're trying to work through that, and it's killing some streams. So we apologize for that, and hopefully that'll be back working functionally right when we're back out there on Saturdays. But the stream died at one point, but so we just did another one. But the technical challenge at Hoop-Dee-Doo was in not knowing how it really goes down over there. I thought I was going to have to hold the stream the entire time. But Tammy was reading my mind. She's like, let me make you a plate and you can kind of eat, on the go. And there's a function that no one's going to know unless you have a particular gimbal. But there's a function you can hit and it freezes the camera. So I can move my arm all around and that camera will stay fixed on the stage.
Yep.
And I do that a lot when I know I'm doing a stage show and I'm not doing a lot of moving around. I can just do that and really enjoy on my own and just keep an occasional eye on it. So kind of did that, and then Tammy finished so quick, she took the gimbal for some of it too, so I could go ahead and eat. So we worked through that, but I didn't know you could see Happily Ever After from the lake.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing was, they weren't playing it very loud where we were standing. So my instinct next was, and it's so cool because someone in chat said, it sounds really good. I took my personal phone, turned it upside down, and looked up Happily Ever After on YouTube and played the audio from that, and Jacob and I synced it up so that people could watch the show with good audio. And then we saw the electric water pageant. Front row seats.
Front row.
For that. And there was a lot of you that had never seen that before. Even Tammy was like, I've never really seen this, to this level. And I'm like, yeah, I have one time from last year. But we did so much this past week, I wouldn't even mind repeating the entire thing again in order.
Again, it was a lot of fun. Big group, right? But not a group that like we all just mesh well, So
yeah, everybody, right? We just all get together, get along so well.
Yeah. So it was great to experience all of that together, but then obviously to experience all of that with all of you as well. Like I said, I mean, so many firsts in there. Finley riding a pony, going to our first water park, seeing the water pageant, seeing Fort Wilderness. Hoop-Dee-Doo. Catherine drove a golf cart for the first time ever. So
Tammy too. No, I think she might have driven it. Oh, and by the way, I'm wearing a Fort Wilderness button down.
There you go.
Today.
There you
I
go.
almost didn't mention that. I was like, I'm going to outdo Lawrence for the first time ever on theming.
I'm wearing a Mickey shirt. And I've got a mug. Do you have a mug?
No, I've been skipping on that. I just got the old water bottle here.
That's what I normally have, my water bottle. But I have a Magic Kingdom Main Street mug.
Very nice. So, yeah, 5 out of 5 rating for this past week. And like I said, I don't mind doing that again. Maybe one of the next times you come down, of course, it's got to be with the family, my family too. Maybe we need to do some type of park challenge.
Yeah.
Sometime within the next year, something a little bit different.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't do one this. I last year when we did the 4-park challenge, I thought that would become a tradition, but I kind of like that we did. I mean, this was really, really different.
Yeah, and we kind of were just like, I feel like just H2O Glo just happened to fall on that day. The cabins just happened to fall on that day. It's not like we said, okay, we have 4 days. How do we want to arrange this? It just happened. It just came together that way. Which was magical.
Yeah, so we'll get on definitely some challenges. I don't know when our next trip down is. I know I probably have one in November and maybe late September, early October, because we love Halloween, so we'll probably go for the Halloween party. So we'll see.
Oh, okay. I know I was throwing it out there, putting that bug in your ear to like be there on August 29th for the opening of Food and Wine Festival.
Yeah, that might be a little tough. I'm doing 2 jobs at this point. So
yeah.
might be a little tough.
Yeah, but we will be there. We will be there for the first time in several years. In the morning of Food and Wine Festival, we will be at the doors, at the gates of Epcot to cover that for all of you and have a good time doing that. Let's hit up our sponsor. How about that?
Sounds good.
Looking for a home that offers the perfect blend of luxury, comfort, and convenience with Disney World in your backyard? Victor Naraki is a licensed realtor with Vision Home Real Estate LLC. He is here to help you find the home of your dreams. With over 13 years of experience in the vacation home market and a proven track record of success, Victor is the perfect partner to guide you through every step of the home buying process. So why wait? Visit DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com today to learn more about Victor's exclusive range of properties and schedule a viewing with him today. Your dream home is just a click away. If you're
Results, you can go to celebratingflorida.com, and I will be joining Victor down the line sometime in the near future, and we'll go around and live stream some homes on a Saturdays with him before we do a park stream. So we'll help Victor out, and definitely just go subscribe to Victor, and it makes him really happy. He does a great job. We watched on Sunday him tour a house with Neil. Neil's a great supporter of all things his friends, and we enjoyed this. We enjoyed that stream very much. $800,000 home, but we enjoyed it. Blast the chat for Steve Bullock, who just dropped a gift, and it went to our very own Lialana. So, yeah, we don't need to do any This Week in the Parks because we just did it.
Just did it.
The greatest This Week in the Parks ever. So, just trying to think I wanted to address a couple things with Nanny Pooh Bear. She had asked, she suggested maybe you could do a segment at some point on what kids like to eat down in Disney.
Okay. Rice and beans, pasta and meatballs. End of sentence.
Done. And also, Nanny Pooh Bear said, how did you get Happily Ever After to sync? It was being played on audio in the distance, but it wasn't loud enough for you all to hear very well. So I just kept my ear out, Jacob and I pulled it up on YouTube and we synced it together. Yep. So that's how we did that.
Yeah, you just kind of, I've done that. I can't remember with what, but I've done that before with something. You just got to kind of play with the timing until you get it right. But yes. It was, I could hear it because I could hear both, right? I heard Corey's phone, and then I heard the faint speakers in the distance. It was right on. It was right on. So that was really good.
Andy, Disney Whales guy, just dropped a gift as well. Looks like a little train going. And that went to Stephanie Keel.
There you go.
Congratulations. $5 membership. All kinds of fun benefits. So if you're not part of that LID group, the LID members, you can opt in for a possible free one because our community is so good at giving. Or you can just jump right ahead and support the channel for even $5 and get your Oni. And if that's a little too much for you, $1.99 will get you your name in green and the emojis. And for anybody of the Skyliner and Monorail on the Patreon or our LID Club membership here on YouTube gets to join us tomorrow night for another Zoom call. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going to go ahead and schedule that after we're off here. And we'll see all of you on the Zoom call as well. Next time we're live in the parks will be this Saturday's. It's the Mega Movie Parade, which I have not purposely watched yet, over at Universal Studios. And from there, we'll decide if we're going to stay for Cinesational, the amazing water firework drone show over there. But we want to make sure that we get over to the Harry Potter show as well on the castle, Hogwarts Forever. I think it's what it's called. So there'll be a lot there to cram in on a Saturdays as we escape over to Universal for Saturdays, and should be a lot of fun. We got another gift dropped by Ann Gilnack. Blast the chat for Ann Gilnack. and that was picked up by Lori P. Congratulations, Lori P. So that's Amaze for sure. So
We
have
need
we
to
said
make
it all
a.
and done it all?
We need to make a. I was going to say a video. We need to make a thumbnail for the Summer of Diz because it is just rolling on and on. We just celebrated 15K. Was that 2 weeks ago? Felt like,
Yes.
and 16K came like that.
It came
So
fast. One Saturday to the next. One
that was
Saturday to the next.
that was pretty crazy. But there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes that you don't get to see. Frankly, you wouldn't want to. It's a bunch of boring data and stuff like that, but I enjoy it. And so we're doing a lot of stuff to get more people to have eyes on LID and to join all of you great people in the chat. So we've seen a lot of increase in numbers of subscribers and viewers lately. So just keep an eye out. Welcome them all as they come in, because this is a great community. Oh, I did remember that. I'm sorry. Yes, Titi reminded me. So the last night we were there was Sunday. It was our last full night. We went to try and do the drone show. Drone show was delayed at 9 o'clock because of high winds. But we were going to the 10:45 show. So we get there, we walk over 10:35, get a nice spot, sitting out there in front, getting all hyped up because myself and Titi Doreen went to see it the first night we were there. But Catherine, Finley, Nick, and Christina did not see it. So I'm ready for everybody to see it. I'm getting all hyped up. And they send out the 3 drones to test the wind. And they say the show's delayed because of high wind. Okay, no problem. Because that gave Christina, she went to go get some food, gave her time to get there. And then what happens? They cancel the show.
Oh, no. That's the worst feeling.
Yeah. So they did not get to experience the drone show. But we'll probably have to get back there before September because it ends in September. So we'll have to get back there. And then the next night, we had a nice 4-hour stay at the airport because there was a massive rainstorm. So I thought I would be watching Corey's stream from the air, and instead I was watching it, and it actually ended before I even got on the plane. So we didn't get home until 3:30 in the morning.
I did say that when we were live, though. I said, well, at least you have some entertainment right now, Lawrence.
Yeah.
But
it
stinks to wait around that long. We've never had that experience.
Yeah, I don't normally. There was a bad one. I was going to LA one time with work, and it was like a 7-hour delay getting out there. Christina, I'm going to put those. Yeah, there you go. So we also had Hannah from
Southeastern University.
Oh, I don't know where that is. And Becca from Boynton Beach. They're both at All Star Music. And they were great. They actually they were just talking to Christina and Nick. They had nice little conversation. They talked about dark chocolate, and then all of a sudden they go up to Christina and Nick's room with a whole gift bag that they had made for them with chocolate pretzels, gummies, Rice Krispie treats, Mickey popcorn, and some other treats. So really, really nice. One of them had been there a little bit, and then the other one was earning her ears. So there are great people all over Disney World, and that's what makes it different than any other resort in the absolute world.
Absolutely. Yep. Let's see. Alicia wanted to know where we are in the ratings. So it actually costs money to know where we are in the ratings. So
yeah. Well, plus that website hasn't updated since July 1st. So I'm not sure what's going on with that website. But on the other one, on Listen Notes, we are still in the top 10% of all podcasts in the world. So I will take that.
Okay. Top 10%. We'll take it.
I'll take that.
All right. Have we said it all, done it all?
We have, folks, I mentioned Summer of Diz. Next week is an absolute huge episode. It's a banger, as they say, because we will be joined by Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Zach Stevens, who's running Disney Race to raise money for American Cancer Society, will be on next week. So do not miss that one. That is going to be huge. I've been talking to Zach since we booked him, and he is so excited to come on and talk Disney with all of you. So be ready for that. The following week, we'll have Ashley on to talk about some new foods. And then the following week will be Dr. Disney. And we are booked also in August and most of September. So you do not want to miss an episode here because we've got a lot of stuff going on for all of you. I'm really excited about next week.
Yes. I'll let you take the reins to start, and we'll go from there because that's your boy. Yeah. But I just love their Christmas music, and yeah, y'all don't want to miss that. Our biggest star yet.
Yeah.
On the show, and we're going to continue to gun for bigger and bigger. So we won't give up there.
Yep. Hey, good job. Find the fun. Woke up to 54 subscribers today. Keep putting out content. That's how you get it.
That's right. Love what you do. Do what you love. So, all right, everyone. We'll see you in the parks on Saturdays. Check for start times. That one is always the most uncertain one because basically our strategy is to make sure Tammy gets on every single ride that she wants to do. And after that, we can go live because we ride way more than she does. So, we'll look to go live at sometime between 3 and 5 will be the deal. And we'll experience that parade and whatever else we can get ourselves into over there at Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. So have a wonderful night to all of you that are watching live. We do it live because we do it for you. We love you all. We love our community so much. And I'm going to make Lawrence have a meeting now because sometimes I make him have meetings now.
Oh, good. I only had an 8-hour training today for work.
On numbers, and we're going to discuss a little strategy on the channel going forward because we're loving these new numbers coming in. So we're going to see what we can do to keep that going.
I have to change what's in this mug, but that's fine.
Yeah. Well, let's see. When did my day start today? My day started. My head came off the pillow 15 hours ago. Nonstop. 2 clients, 7 patients, another client, right here to here for 2 hours.
I did.
Next is
Wednesday,
dinner.
Wednesday
talking
night.
with you.
Oh, and we have to cut promos too for next week's show. So it's going to be a long night, folks.
Oh, all right. Good. All right, everyone. We love you all. Thank you so much for your support in any way that you support us. Special announcement coming out in 2 weeks as to what we're doing on Saturdays. 3 Saturdays is from now. And we'll see you all soon. We'll see you all in the parks. Until then, we're just a couple of bros talking Disney.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
People living of any allowed to come out of hiding.